Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Volatility inbound, up or down. That is the title for today's show. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, one, there are some key news events today. There's the FOMC meeting minutes, which we know is an extremely volatile news event. It is a red impact, and that's happening at 8 p.m. my time in about 3.5 hours. And Bitcoin, looking at this daily chart over here, there's an upsloping or ascending support over here, which looks like it is breaching, guys. Looks like it is potentially breaking down. This doesn't mean it's all over. This doesn't mean it's all over at all. What this actually means is that the momentum might slow down, okay? So the reason why we went long for Bitcoin was this breakout over here, guys. So it obviously broke the resistance. It was in a downtrend, broke the resistance, and we went long, okay? This is when we went long, this area over here. Now, looking at the chart here, it's the exact opposite, okay? So there is a support over there, and we're bouncing. And we could potentially be breaching the ascending support, which is technically bearish, or we can start to look for shorts, okay? So there are a few reasons why I don't think this. It's just the possibility, of course. Trading at the end of the day is just a game of possibility, a game of possibilities, probabilities, and risk and reward. So head shorts, definitely very valid over here. But the reason why I think we could still go to the upside, of course, is on high block capital over here. There's a lot of liquidity to the upside, guys. We can't forget about this. So there's, this is glitching out. So you can see there is a lot of liquidity over here sitting at that 113K region. So I think there's a good chance that, you know, this 113K region does get tagged before we move down. And you can see on the other chart, Solana over here, a lot of liquidity there at about 180. And if we go to the shorter term time frames, again, 180 being a very key liquidity zone for Solana, guys. So this is why I still think we can go to the upside. And of course, this is only confirmed if we get multiple daily candles outside. So, you know, if today we close below here after the news event and then chop around here, very valid to start looking for shorts. You know, we could get a sweep up before going down. But just remember, guys, when we are below the ascending support over here, the momentum is slowing down, guys. It has happened before. It does happen often with uptrends. You know, you just mark it off like this, and as soon as we get under it, it is looking to slow down the trend, guys. Here is a perfect example over here. Broke down, slowed down the trend for a few months, and away we go. And it's also longer term ones like this. You know, you break down, and things are starting to look to slow down when you do break out. But let's see, guys. Let's see. We first have to have multiple daily candles closing underneath this level. This could be a great buying opportunity for all we know. But let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see. It should provide a good buying opportunity, of course. And this level over here is a very key level for Bitcoin. And I do think that this is a buying opportunity over here, okay? So we could break down to this level. And this level is over here, of course, the daily open and closes in December, in mid-December. Some more open and closes over there. Candle closes, very important. We've got some wicks over there. So I do think this zone over here is a potential buying opportunity. You can look for longs on the shorter term time frame. But my high time frame analysis remains the same, which is the previous week's candle over here. This was quite a volatile candle, of course, a $10,000 candle in Bitcoin. And you know, if we close above the zone over here or below the zone over here, that could potentially dictate the direction. So some things that I'm looking out on the weekly time frame, of course, you know, the high in March over here, the high in December, and the next high we are looking to potentially take some profits in the zone over here. So this makes perfect sense from a technical analysis point of view. Would be a move up into the zone over here. Of course, the ascending resistance over there, we could tag this, and this would be a good place to take profits, guys. So a few things that I'm looking to line up is potentially this RSI as well. So there's this RSI over here. You can see a declining RSI. So we could see a move into here. This would be a, third drive of bearish divergence there, which would be a bit of a red flag. But there's lots of things that we have to wait for, guys. And one would be a white tile on the MACD as well. So a few things to watch out, guys. So definitely look at Bitcoin in the daily and weekly time frame. Mark off all those important levels over here. But guys, I don't think the cycle is over. Of course, Bitcoin dominance is still at epically high levels. And remember, guys, the plan is to look to exit crypto when Bitcoin dominance is at these two levels over here. So the first level being the zone over here at about 53% of Bitcoin dominance. That could be a zone where you are rotating some altcoins back into Bitcoin. And the final TP, which we would be bullish for altcoins, would be that 42-43%, guys. So definitely mark these levels off on your chart. I do think, the cycle is still not over until one of these levels are at least tagged. And this for the absolute bare minimum. This would obviously be very bullish for altcoins, but it would be the bearish case scenario. Bullish for altcoins, extremely bullish for altcoins, okay? So just remember that, guys. So one thing I want to speak about today is, of course, Ethereum, okay? Because Ethereum is starting to look really, really, really great, in my opinion. You can see over here, if I just zoom in, we are starting to form some kind of ascending triangle. What does that mean? Well, we are making, higher lows over there, and we are going to the side in terms of the tops over there. So what you get is a ascending triangle, guys. Price acting like this. And we do expect that we are going to break to the upside. This is a bullish chart pattern, and there's a higher chance that this does break to the upside. So a lot of confidence in Ethereum. I also like that it's reclaimed this 200-day EMA, and it has tested this multiple times as support, guys. You can see we broke through, test the support, test the support, test the support. You can see the bulls are really stepping in over here, guys. So I am expecting this to break to the upside. And once we break this key 50% level, okay, this 50% level is obviously from the cycle highs of 4,100 all the way down to the low at about 14,000. And that 50% level comes in at 2,750, okay? So guys, once we break above that, Ethereum is in a very, very strong position. So at the moment, it is at the top of the weak position. So we do want to see Ethereum get above and close weekly candles above 2,700. And I do believe all-time highs will be coming next. The same thing happened for Bitcoin. If you go back on Bitcoin, guys, remember we had the 50% level. I said, guys, as soon as we start to close multiple daily candles above this 50% level, so at that point, it was looking like this. At 50% level was at 92,250. We started closing multiple candles above the 50% level, and then we went all the way to all-time highs, guys. So that is very, very likely to happen with Ethereum. If that does, of course, happen. So if we do get above the 50% level, start to close multiple candles above there, then we are expecting the end of this move to go all the way up to all-time highs and beyond, of course. And what's really looking good at the moment is ETH BTC, guys. So ETH BTC, if you zoom out, it looks like we are starting to make another move on this declining resistance over here. So you can see old top, we extended down. We got rejected there the first time, but it looks like it is starting to make a move above this, declining resistance over here. And if we can close multiple daily candles, so last time we just closed one and then we got rejected through. This one we have closed yesterday's candle above there. So if we can close, this week above this trend line over here, then I am targeting, a push up for Ethereum, guys. And there's so many levels we can mark. The 50% level is, the one that comes first to mind, of course. We should test this 50% level as resistance. This is a huge level over here. You can see we did have this very important pivot bottom as well. So this would be your target for Ethereum. If we start to close candles above there, then what you can do is, of course, open up a long position on ETH BTC. Stop loss could go below there, and then we are targeting that 50% level. And that gives us a risk to reward of more than 3-to-1. Of course, there will be some, resistances on the way, including this one over here. This could be a take profit coming into the zone over here, take profit 2 over there. And then let's see how Ethereum does, guys. So don't fade this, guys. I wouldn't be fading this. This is a breakout. And we're going to see how, sorry. Sorry guys, my phone is ringing there. But this is a valid breakout, and the target is the 50% level. And once we are testing a 50% level from the underside, it is resistance, and vice versa, guys. So definitely looking good in my opinion. I think ETH BTC has a lot of catch up to do, and I do see this breakout looking good. The RSI is in a good position. It has come down and almost tested that halfway point as support. Buyers are stepping in. We're above the 50-day EMA. Once it gets above the 200-day EMA, it is going to be shooting. And remember, guys, it happens very fast. These ETH BTC moves can happen very fast. Look at that, extremely high velocity over there. And of course, over here, high velocity, high velocity. And what's interesting to note is that they all come from a similar place. Okay, huge move from this area over here, huge move over there, huge move over there. Of course, so definitely watch out for ETH BTC, guys, and also let me know what you guys think about ETH BTC. It would be good to know what you guys think about ETH BTC. The chart does look bullish, the ascending triangle, which we spoke about earlier, above the 200-day EMA. Let's see if it can make it all the way up to 4,000. USDT dominance as well. This did come a little bit into the fair value gap, which we were eyeing out for a while. Ultimately just grinding sideways. It is in bearish market structure. We do want to see this low over here get taken out. So if this low can get taken out, then we are definitely going to be going down to that range low pretty fast, in my opinion. So let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see. But for now, this is just chopping sideways. This bullish candle over here could bring the USDT bulls back. But let's see, guys. We have had the death cross, so we are expecting the downward momentum, guys. The downward momentum for USDT dominance, which is the upward momentum for the crypto market. There's a comment about Toncoin. We're going to have a look at Toncoin, of course, guys. We are in this long. We have been in this long for a while. So we got in this long when we broke out. I think we took this long around here as well. Took a nice TP. And then we got into this long again because we had this breakout and this kind of high time frame retest over there. So we got into our ton long over here, expecting that these lows will most likely be defended. Okay, so now we've got to move up. There's some good news today. I think that Telegram partnered with Grok AI, something along those lines. I'm not a big headline trader. I mainly just trade the charts. But a move up to $4 is very likely for Ton. We are in this long, up a few percent on that. I think about 50, 60% at the moment. Has come down a little bit. But, what is good to see is that we have taken out this resistance over here. And you can see that we are forming a bullish market structure, guys. Higher highs, higher lows. It is slowly happening, but, a move to the upside is inevitable. And I do see those targets which are marked off on the screen as likely targets. So, of course, the first target, TP1, is the 200-day EMA over here. Very likely to be tagged. Then, of course, we have this declining resistance over here, which is obviously coming down every day. So let's say that happens in the next few months. We could be looking at around next few weeks, we could be looking at a $6 ton coin. And then, of course, the all-time highs, $8. These are the typical targets for Toncoin. So they're nice round numbers: $4, $6, and $8. So 4, 6, 8 over there. Targets on the way. And this could be looking like one macro deviation. Get back into the range, and then aiming to see much higher levels for Toncoin. But let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see. Only time will tell. But for now, it is looking promising and there is life. But I would like to see Toncoin trading well above $4. That would be a good sign, of course. So let's have a look at Ondo. So Ondo is struggling, guys. It's just going sideways / nowhere. I think I'm in from about 89 cents, this region over here. So still waiting for my targets. Target 1 is $1.40. I'm still bullish on this, guys. This is one of the bigger percentages of my portfolio is in Ondo, and it is struggling, but good things do take time, guys. Rome wasn't built in a day. So the $1.40 obviously is the 50% level from the all-time high of Toncoin in mid-December all the way down to the correction low. at the beginning of April. That 50% level comes in at $1.40. So this has been the target for TP1 for a while now. I've been long on this. I got long on this when it closed the daily candle outside of this, descending resistance. Went long, expecting that once we do break this, there is a momentum change and the low should be defended. And I'm just going to wait for our targets to be hit, guys. TP1, $1.40, $2.13, and $3.05. Those are my targets, guys. Those are my targets. So the rest of the market's kind of just going sideways and having a little bit of a correction at the moment. One chart that you guys just need to be watching out for, of course, is Total 3. Okay, so Total 3, this is your altcoin markets or your top 100 excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Guys, this chart needs to start showing some strength and closing multiple daily candles above the 50% level of 911 billion. Let's call it 915 billion for a round number. Of course, we're not very far away. If there's good news today and crypto moves 4%, which it normally does in a day, then this would be a good sign. Of course, this is bullish market structure. So when there is bullish market structure, what we expect is for trend continuation. And of course, if it's bullish, it is to the upside. So you can see higher highs, or this would be your first higher high, higher low relative to this. We broke out, so it's a confirmed higher low, higher high over there. Is this the higher low? Are we going to have it over here? Are we going to come down, test these EMAs after getting the golden cross? Who knows? But what we do want is to get above the 50% level, guys. Once we get above the 50% level, it will be looking very strong. So this is one of the charts that I'd be watching and waiting for. As soon as this breaks out, you can see there's also a declining resistance over here. If you look on the 4-hour time frame, it would make a bit more sense. So these highs over here, connecting these highs, of course, building something like that. Once we break this resistance over here, altcoins should be popping off. But let's see, guys. Let's go back to the daily time frame, of course. So, it is in a strong uptrend, consolidating in the zone over here, and it's looking pretty cool. Like it's looking like it's mirrored. It had a big drop off over here, and then you can see this shape kind of repeats over here. This pattern. It's a bit of an inverse head and shoulders. So I'll show you guys the inverse head and shoulders over here quickly. Head and shoulder. There we go. So this would be your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder, and then a breakout. So the measured move of this should be the head to the neckline over there, which is, let's get this tool out. It should be the resistance. That would make a lot of sense. Bang, breakout over there into this resistance. So the target for the head and shoulders is $1 trillion. Okay, $1 trillion. So we can expect $1 trillion from Total 3, which means it's going to be moving up another, let's call it 15-20%, guys. This is the move that we are looking for. Are we taking profits or are we breaking through this level? In my opinion, we're breaking through this level, guys. I think we're going to break through this level. If we look at Total is obviously leading the market because Bitcoin dominance is high. But this is looking similar, guys. So if this breaks out, do you expect Total 3 to catch up immediately? And then, of course, the higher time frame target is $5 trillion. Okay, $5 trillion is the total crypto market target that I am targeting this cycle. This is where I will be selling the majority of my positions and exiting the space, guys. This would be your sell zone over here. When is it going to happen? It could happen in Q4. All these tops could line up as well. We can be conservative and start taking profits at $4.5 trillion as well. But this is where, this zone over here is where you can start being a little bit more conservative, guys. Take chips off the table. We do have to take chips off the table to realize some profits over there, guys. So let's have a look at the comments quickly and see what you guys are talking about. If you could give me a ticker for this, that would be appreciated. Major USDT looking good also. Yeah, if this is major, then I would agree with you. I think it's looking really good. It is bullish market structure. If we can break these highs over here, it's going to be looking insane. Hi, bro. How do you identify laggard coins that don't look good and need to get out of? Well, okay, so if we have a look at Bitcoin, guys, Bitcoin is above its important EMAs. Okay, let's get rid of that. So if your token is still below the 200-day EMA, I would say there's almost no hope for it. Okay, so you can see Solana is above the 200-day EMA over here, looking good. Okay, ETH above the 200-day EMA, looking good. XRP above the 200-day EMA, looking good. Okay, so if you can find a token that is below the 200-day EMA, Casper's potentially retesting these now, but it is looking a little bit more dodgy. Toncoin below the 200-day EMA, so not necessarily looking good. Ondo struggling a little bit, still below the 200-day EMA, so not looking ideal. I am really bullish on this one still, just from a fundamental point of view. But if you want a line in the sand that says bullish, bearish, I would say the 200-day EMA, guys. You could definitely wait for a token, something like this. You could wait for it to get above the 200-day EMA. So in this example, reclaiming the dollar region. I personally wouldn't be extremely bullish on anything that is below the 200-day EMA. I know I'm bullish on this. I'm long on Ondo. This is from a fundamental point of view. I do see it. This is most likely macro accumulation, looking for the next leg up. Fundamentally strong, of course. And of course, when it's below the 200-day EMA and it is a strong token, fundamentally, it is a great buying opportunity. So this is what I would be looking out for to answer your questions. Below the 200-day EMA means it is most likely struggling, guys. So look at XLM quickly. Okay, XLM, not looking too bad. This was a potential trade idea, of course, and still valid, guys, still valid. If you are bullish on XLM, it is above the 200-day and 50-day EMA, just got the golden cross. So this is a valid trade. I might even be taking this trade, guys. Not very bullish on this token. Is an old token, but this is a trade that you can be taking, of course. And where would your take profits be? So of course, all-time highs, you have to be targeting all-time highs. At this point in the cycle, it has to be at least a little moon bag for there. So 50% level, I'm liking the zone over here as a potential resistance. So this would be your TP 1, 2, and 3 if you are a swing trader. And of course, that 56-cent zone, you take a little bit or move stop loss to break even over here, guys. So, if you are looking for an XLM long, I might take this long as well because it is bullish market structure. You can see, guys, bullish market structure over here. So you are expecting this low to hold if bullish market structure is to continue. Okay, so if bullish market structure is to continue, then it shouldn't break below this low. So this is where your stop loss would go. Okay, stop loss over here. Okay, so you can be taking longs now, expecting this is going to hold. Why are you taking longs? Well, it's above the 250-day EMA and it looks like it's testing it as support, obviously holding up as support. Take profit 36, 42, 51, 64. I'm going to take this trade after the show, guys. I like this trade and I'm going to take it. Thank you for that recommendation. It looks good. Okay, let's have a look at PHA. PHA. I haven't seen this one before, guys, so we're going to have a look. Yeah, PHA, I would be waiting for price action to get above these highs and, of course, the EMAs. So if we can see it get above here, then we can start looking for longs and targeting high levels. But let's wait for that to happen first. Personally, wouldn't be bullish on this now. It is getting rejected from the 200-day EMA, which is acting as support. Let's have a look at major. Thank you for pointing that out for me. Major. Okay, not too much price action. Of course, that's on OKX. Let's have a look at Bybit. Very similar. I think this launched on the same day. So look at MEXC. Yeah, okay, so it is above the 200-day, the 50-day EMA. So you could expect this to be support. This obviously is a very low market cap with all these wicks like this. And remember, guys, when you do get that big wick, that push up and down, it just goes sideways. Push up, down, sideways. Push up, down, sideways. So this could be leading into another sideways period. So personally, wouldn't be too bullish or have too much conviction on this. That is my, of course, opinion on major. Okay, so guys, basically watch out for this. Of course, this, if you get a daily close in the zone over here, it is technically a breakdown. Definitely watch out for the major news events, guys. Watch out for this tonight. Have a look when that happens. Volatility inbound for sure. Okay, if this breaks down, we could see some shorts. Some shorts are valid, of course, if you do see a daily close or two below this level. But lots of news events, of course, coming to move the market. So definitely watch out for those volatile events. But guys, thanks so much for joining the stream, and we will see you later this